My next job is an Audi A5 and I am changing the CVT oil under the bottom of the car. I will have to lift at the back as well when I check the level, but for now this is fine. I'm trying to stop some of the wind. Plug is just there, one plug only. It's nothing special. The torque's at 60. You don't need anything with a hole in it for this, it's just that's what that looks like, but it would work without. And then it's got the snorkel that you take out, and that's what you're going to fill it up to that level when it's in the gearbox, so that's how high it's going to be when it's all level. There is a special VAG tool, but this works fine. It's just a pick that you get in any pick set. Didn't take much to just pull it out. And then you let the oil gush. I've got these mats down. I find they help for dribbles when it's windy like this. It helps keep the monoblock drive a little better. So once I've drained it, and it's pretty much drained now, I've got the new oil and I've got a tool to fill it up. Okay, I'm using this pump. This took about 3 litres. I'm going to put 6 litres in it, as long as I don't go over 20 psi. Just keep pumping it through. It goes through here. Obviously I've put the snorkel that I just shown you, that's back in there. It does say you can replace it, it's a one-time use, but this one was totally fine. I didn't puncture it in any way. This is the fluid I was asked to put in it. That's the part number. See it. Anyway, that's what I was given, and I'm using something a bit like this. It's the number 7 that I've used. This one's obviously a different one, but it's just to show you the idea. That screws into the bottom, and then you put this on and open the valve, and you just keep filling it up. That just snaps on like that. So that's filling it up. It takes a while. It is quite slow. So what I find is you need to give yourself plenty of time. Now there are some of these that don't rely on pressure building up to push the fluid out. They just have a handle and they pump it through. And since I've been asked to do a few different cars with this style of setup, I've decided to just go and invest in one of the other ones. And see if it speeds it up a bit, because this is quite a slow process filling them up. But you can use this for other things. It doesn't have to be a DSG or this particular gearbox is a what is it called, constantly varying transmission. So it doesn't have to be this type. You can use it for manual. I actually used it to fill up my own transit van. It just takes a bit longer because it's a thicker oil. Anyway, that's today's job. If you don't have the correct tools, I suppose what you could do is measure the amount of oil that you take out and put the same amount back in, and in theory it should be about right. If you do have the correct tools, which is just a scan tool, there's a procedure which involves, I wrote it down because I get my information from Tech for Techs, and I'm filming on my phone so I can't show you what I read, so I wrote it down. Basically the heating and aircon off, it's got to be the gear lever in P, hold down the brake pedal, start the car at 2,500 RPM after you start it for 3 seconds, then let it idle, then go through all the gears. Once you've gone through all the gears, you don't have to drive it, just move the position of the lever into each, like the R and the D and the N, and so on for 2 seconds in each place, and you do that 3 times with the moving of the gears. I am watching the engine oil, I'm watching the transmission oil temperature, and when it gets between 35 and 45, I put it into park, go under the car with it still running, and take the plug back out. Wait for it to drip, and then put the plug back in and we're done. 1, 2, 1, 2, that's it. Park, we'll go through them all a few times. Did say to leave the heater and the aircon off, it must affect it if you don't. After this, we've just got to wait for it to warm up. It's only at 28 degrees and I need it to be between 35 and 45, but not over 45. So I've got the car level. On jack stands, I'll just do it once more. Nothing really technical here, we're just going to watch the temperature. It's coming up, nearly there. Now I'm back into park. We'll give it a minute and then check it. I've got a few more degrees to go to get to the minimum of 35 and maximum of 45. Then I gotta go under the car with it running and take the plug out. Nearly there. You're always better to do it a correct way if there is a correct way. I know I've shown stuff on my channel where I do things that may not be technically correct, like using the electric parking brake and using a power probe or jumper cables to wind the electric parking brake back at the rear calipers. Yeah, it works, but I think you're better always doing it the right way if you can. If you can't, there is that option, but at least if you do it the right way, nothing should go wrong, and if it does, you've covered yourself because you did everything correctly. You were following a procedure using the correct tools. Now it's at 31 degrees, just a few more degrees to go and I'll take the plug out. That's now at the minimum temperature for this. They're out of a data pits, I just wanted to see the one that was relevant. So now I can go under the car, pull out the plug and let it drip. I was going to show you it dripping, but you know, with the wind being as it is today, it was just going everywhere. So anyway, it's just a drip, nothing much to see. But that's it done. This engine was running at the time. I've switched it off so that you can hear me speaking better. So now all I've got to do is load it down. We're done. Hopefully it's helpful to somebody. Like I say, if you don't have the scan tool, you could maybe just measure and put the same amount back in and you'd probably be okay. Thanks for watching.